Welcome back to Renaissance for the Soul. It is I, Olden Young.
We got a special guest today, Olden Young, again. Yeah,
It is I.
yeah. How you feeling?
I'm feeling straight, you know. I like the new scenery, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, every time we get together, enjoy that tremendously, you know what I mean? So, day going good. How's everything going for you?
It's going alright. No, can't complain.
Okay. So, what's happening?
Not much, man. Tell me about yourself. Where you from?
I'm from the Bay Area, San Jose, California, area code 408.
Okay. So describe to me what actually is the Bay Area? Because a lot of people say, "Oh, I'm from the Bay." What is it like being from the Bay Area?
What's it like? It's a melting pot, a little bit of everybody as far as culture goes. Um, like I said, I'm from San Jose. We call that the Silicon Valley or the Skrilicon Valley because that's where all the money at. So all your like tech-based companies like Facebook, uh, Apple, uh, Amazon, eBay, like they all out there. So that's tech based. But then you have most people know like Oakland, San Francisco, Vallejo, Richmond. It's just a bunch of cities around the Bay, and we from the South Bay. San Jose is the South Bay. East Bay would be like Oakland. Yeah.
Okay. So, um, for me, that's always a cultural reference to like the hip hop culture. So, what are some of the artists from the Bay Area?
I'll say the biggest artist would probably be Too Short or MC Hammer,
Okay.
E40, Mac Dre. That's probably like the most known nationwide. Then like R&B, you got like In Vogue,
Okay.
Tony.
Oh, where are they from the Bay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what's up. I did not know that. All right. So how long you been out here in Georgia area?
About 6 years.
Okay.
About 6 years. I like the fact that the cost of living, you know what I'm saying, that make it worthwhile. Because pretty much whatever you, especially with real estate, whatever you would spend here, multiply that by two, and you get the same thing in California. So you buy a house that's like 350, it'd be between 750, 800,000 in California.
Okay.
What made you move out here to Georgia?
A couple of transfers, like as far as work goes. My whole life, I pretty much was like I'll never leave. I can't even say California. I'll never leave San Jose. Like I was never gonna leave San Jose, dude. Then through work, they transferred me to Oregon. Uh, and once I got out there, I was like, damn, I should have been left. I should have been left San Jose. You know, we just got the difference in just life in general. Like there's no sales tax. You don't have to pump your own gas.
They got to do that?
Yeah, they gotta do it. Like it's against the law. You can't pump your own gas.
In Cali?
No,
Or just
no, in Oregon.
Oregon? Oh, okay.
Yeah, so just like just seeing different things just in life, like how people move. Everything in Oregon is like right around the way, so you can go skiing, you can go hiking, you can go to the sand dunes. Because it rains so much, like the scenery is beautiful. Then like Nike's headquarters there, Adidas headquarters there, North Face, you know what I mean? So like everything you can get, 50% off, things like that. So I went from Oregon, and then they transferred me to Tampa. I hated Tampa, and then ended up here. It was like I'm pretty much here to stay.
And when you say transfer, you mean you was working for
Like
somewhere?
work-wise, yeah. Like I work for different like sales companies. I work for Comcast.
Okay.
Uh, what was the other place? The credit card, Capital One,
Okay.
stuff like that.
So you're from the Bay, but you used to live in Oregon. Any other places you lived at?
Tampa,
Tampa as well?
yeah.
Okay.
And then Atlanta. That's it.
You say you didn't like Tampa. Why?
it's really humid, and then like when I moved there, I was thinking more like Miami,
Okay.
and then once I got there, it was more like far from Miami. It take too long to get to the beach, and then because it's so humid, like a lot of the houses and apartments stuff like that, they got tile, and then they got like a lot of lizard. I don't know. I just didn't like it. It felt old. There wasn't too much to do. Um,
It was
yeah.
too exotic. You see some gators
Nah,
outside.
it wasn't even exotic. It felt old. You know what I mean? Like there was nothing. It just like they say a lot of people go to Tampa to retire, and I know why. You you yeah, you going to retire. You just
And
going
ain't nothing out there but the Buccaneers.
pretty much. Yeah.
Okay. How would you describe Georgia now that you've been here for 6 years?
I know why they call it the Black Hollywood. The Bay Area is a melting pot as far as just culture. You know what I'm saying? Like you'll literally see like all nationalities. Vietnamese, Mexican, Samoan, Eritrean, Persian. Like you name it, it's all in the Bay Area. At least you could say. You come here, it's a melting pot of different types of black people. You know what I mean? Like it's not just like they gangsters and then they business. You have a little bit of everything. Everybody has their own little thing, pockets of what they do. So you find a lot to do here. But culturally, I guess you could say with black people, it was strange to me the first time I came to Lenox Mall, and you go into like the Gucci store or wherever, and they embracing you. People in there smelling like weed, gold teeth, dreads, this, that, and the other. In the Bay, you go to one of them things, they looking at you like you about to steal, or they're not gonna help you. You know what I'm saying? Like that type of thing. So I said I can understand why you consider it, like I said, the Black Hollywood. You see stars, you see celebrities everywhere. You know what I mean? Then on the sports side, they got all the sports are here, and it's not like you have to go far. Everything is right there in Atlanta. Yes, I love it.
Okay. Did you ever have any role models or I guess individuals who influenced you on your journey?
Yeah and no, because like my role models constantly changed. It's crazy because my grandfather used to be one of my role models, till he lied to me about Santa Claus, and then and then that changed. You know what I'm saying? Because he was a pastor, so like they was telling me about Santa Claus and everything, and I like, all right, if there really is Santa Claus, you gonna let me know the truth.
Yeah.
And he told me there was, and I already knew there wasn't. You know what I'm saying? I knew for a fact. And then when he said yeah, I looked at him differently. And then I read a lot, so I had different people who I try to look at as a mentor or a role model. And then as I learned from them, I felt like they start misusing me. So then I couldn't really have a mentor or role model. And then I always saw people who people looked up to, and then you find out who they really are. Then you look at them differently. You know what I mean? So I have people I look up to, but I don't take it too serious because I don't want to be let down at the same time.
Yeah, because in a sense, is what the word says. You modeling the role.
Yeah.
So you may not even really be that. But you made a good point. I was going to ask you. You said the misuse, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's a part of your quote. So that's where that comes from. Like, where did that originate from? Use me, but don't misuse me.
I heard somebody say it, and it resonated with me because it really touched me because a lot of times that's how I felt. A lot of I always have ideas or I'll put myself in a situation of success. I'm always around the right people. But like I said, a lot of times people who I look to as a mentor or somebody that was a role model and I start actually working with them, then I start feeling like now they ain't even doing what a role model or like a mentor is supposed to do. I feel like now they using me because they know I'm gonna research, I'm gonna do the thing to make the thing work. And now I'm looking at like I need your help, but they like I said, they're misusing the fact. Like I can understand you help me, I help you type of thing, but I just feel like at the end of the day, once it's all said and done, then they gonna take almost like how they did the slaves back in the day. You know, they created peanut butter and then somebody else profited from it, or electricity, or so on and so forth. That's how I felt at a very young age, like people was taking advantage of how I processed information.
Okay. All right. So, in your opinion, what does it mean to have heart?
I see two sides of it. I could see somebody who has heart as a very like loving and caring person, and then I also somebody has heart that's not scared to go out and do what needs to be done. A lot of times, you know, I might have to walk out that door or walk in a door to make a situation the way I want to be, and if I'm scared or if I second guess myself, you know what I'm saying, then I wouldn't see that as hard. But if, like I said, if I told a loved one or my son or my daughter or somebody like that, like, hey, go out there and get that money, and they scared to do it, I'd be like, oh, you ain't got no heart. You know what I'm saying? But if they actually didn't second guess themselves and just went out there and made it happen, like, okay, you got heart. You know what I'm saying? You didn't let the weakness inside stop you from getting what you wanted.
Okay. Speak to that a little bit more. What was like a particular situation where maybe you had to muster up courage, or maybe you even didn't have heart in the moment, but when you reflected back on it, you felt like you should have stepped up more?
I say from the age of like kindergarten to ninth or 10th grade, I didn't have heart. A lot of, like I said, I'm always in a situation. I've always been in a situation where success is right there or opportunity is right there, and a lot of times I would let fear or not having that heart stop me from getting to where I need to get to. So from the outside looking in, people are like, oh yeah, you know this person, are you doing this or this, that, and other. But on the inside, I know I could have did so much more if I would have, did this, that, and other. Situation, I was with some friends. We were at the mall. This lady wanted to sign us as far as like a music deal. And so it was probably like 10 of us. And she's like, okay, everybody's talking, whatever. And then she just looked at me, you spit. And I was like, I'm not going to do that, you know what I mean? But she saw something in me where if I would have did that, who knows what could have happened, you know what I'm saying? And I just let the fact that I didn't want so-and-so to laugh, or maybe I wouldn't have did my best verse or whatever it is, I didn't do it. And that happened like a lot of times. I had opportunities, I was always in the right place, and then I didn't have the heart to do it. And like my high school years, I had friends and I saw them, not scared to do this and that, even if you was gonna get laughed at or whatever. And then in the long run, you see this person progress. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody, I'm like, oh, you sorry at this. The fact that they love to do it, then you see the end result and be like, all right, that's how you make it move. And that helped me with conversation. Like I feel like I could talk to anybody. I don't care who it is, because I felt that like I missed out on a lot of stuff not having heart. Now it's like
it is what it is.
Yeah.
Okay, so you do music?
Nah, I did music. I thought I did. That was one time frame everybody did music.
Okay. So what other interests do you have other than music?
anything that you can buy low and sell high. Like I like the whole hustle mentality. Um, I like to read. Um, yeah, but in all actuality, I like the whole entrepreneurial thing. That's really a Bay Area thing. You know, you hear a lot of people say like the Bay Area has a lot of independent artists, or you hear people that went from whatever. Like Master P is a prime example. Came from New Orleans.
It was in Richmond, right?
Well, he was from Calio Projects in New Orleans, but
No,
then
I'm saying
he came to
to
Richmond. Yeah, had a record store there. Learned from E40's uncle, St. Charles, the whole distribution get down, which is pretty much buying low and selling high, and from that understanding,
You ran the play.
yeah. So that's my main interest. Like I read on that type of stuff all the time. And like I said last week or in a different interview, I've noticed that anything that I'm reading on, like continuously, then something happens, that energy comes and makes it present itself.
It's applicable.
Yeah.
That's true. Now, you spoke a little bit about your family. How many daughters and sons?
So I have one son. He's 24.
Okay.
Well, actually, he'll be 24 in February, so he's 23, 99. Yep. And then I have 3 daughters. I have a 11-year-old, 10-year-old, and a 6-year-old.
Okay. So what are some of the things you learned about having a family, having children?
A lot of responsibility. When I was younger, like having a job or making money, it really didn't matter. It mattered, but it didn't matter because if I didn't have it, I can go lay on somebody's couch, or I can just call my mom like, "Hey, mom, I'm coming home," or if I had a car, I could sleep in the car, or you know what I'm saying, if I didn't have nothing to eat, you know, I could make it happen, you know what I'm saying? But when you got a family, you got people like looking at you like, I need that, you know what I'm saying? And my mom and dad, you know, never had me without, so there's no way possible I can do that to my kids. So I basically learned having family, like you're responsible for them when they kids, and then you're responsible for the type of adult that they turn out to be based off of how you bring them up.
Sure.
So, what's one good advice that you received that you would tell your kids?
I would say trust everyone until they show you different. Because a lot of times, and I was one of the people who went into a lot of situations not trusting people. But if you turn that around and you give a person the opportunity to be trusted, your interaction with them is different. So don't be like gullible or naive, but
trust them. Benefit of doubt.
Yeah, trust them to be who they're gonna be, but
right.
Pay attention to see if they really show you who they really are.
Right. Cause even in a sense too, what you're saying, if I know somebody a snake, like I know you a snake, so I know how you gonna move.
Yeah.
And at least that way, I know how you gonna move. I ain't gotta worry about, you know.
But the thing with that also is that a snake isn't gonna bite everybody.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, so I know people who are snakes. I know people who foul. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like I can trust them with my life though.
Yeah. Now that's real. You speaking to that duality of life, because you know, I think it goes back to like how you can respect somebody, but you might not necessarily like them.
Yeah.
Because it's like, yo, like I may not like you, but I respect you enough where like I'm not gonna come across a certain way.
Yeah.
You know.
Or I can't hate you because of your actions. If I know that's who you are as a
Yeah,
person, you know
right.
what I'm saying?
That's your
Respect,
character.
respect. That's who you are,
Yeah.
and treat you accordingly.
Exactly. Add them boundaries. That's real. What's a pivotal moment, I guess, in your life that kind of shaped your perspective on things?
My dad dying, and the main reason why is because it was a situation where it was unexpected.
This was recent.
Nah, that was in like 96.
Okay.
I say I was probably like 23, 24-ish, around there. But he had cancer, but he had it for a while, and we didn't know for the longest. He was complaining about migraines and things like that. The reason why I said it was pivotal is because my dad, being who he was, as he was getting sicker, I didn't take the time out to be like,
Really kick it with him.
kick it with him,
Yeah.
what you need.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? For me, it was more or less like, I'm still, trying to do what, why I gotta
Yeah.
stay here and do this. You know what I'm saying?
I feel you.
Or like,
You wanting to go on with your life, but it's like,
why grandma can't come and why, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I got things I gotta do. So when he actually passed, it was cold because they called me and was like, hey, your dad's to the hospital. I was the first one to get there, and as soon as I walked in, he flatlined. You know what I'm saying? So that was pivotal to me because it basically made me on some like kind of like that same heart thing. You gotta take advantage of opportunities. You know what I'm saying? You can't take anything for granted because, like I said, when I was younger, I had all these opportunities. They might never come back again, but I could have struck gold a gang of times. The same thing with my dad. Like, I had all the moments I could have spent with him, things I could have learned, things we could have talked about. Because of the situation that he was in, he knew he was passing. So there's plenty of things he probably might have one-on-one wanted to tell me,
Yeah.
and I didn't even give him that opportunity. And I kind of felt like that's why when I walked in, he flatlined, because then it made me realize, like, damn, you had all this time
to kind of,
to find out what's really going on. Now that you trying to actually, you missed the moment.
did that make you feel guilty to a certain extent?
It didn't make me feel guilty, but it made me feel
Okay. So we were talking about a little bit about your dad transitioning, and I can relate because you were talking about how when you first walked into the hospital room, that's when you flatlined.
Yeah.
And I actually experienced the same thing with my mother. We had stayed overnight at the hospital, and we went upstairs to go check on her for the morning. And as soon as me and my sister walked in, she was gone. And I vividly remember that sensation for me, because you always hear when people pass, their body go cold. And when I went to go to my mom, kiss her on her forehead, like literally, like that sensation, I'll never forget it. But I just wanted to see, what did you do when that happened? Did you go up to him? Was it like an outburst, anger, like turmoil? What was your feelings like at that moment? Like,
It was crazy because as soon as it happened, I turned around and my grandfather walked in, and we the three Lees. You know what I'm saying? So my dad was named after my grandfather. So it just crazy that so happened that grandfather, son, grandson, all together, and we're the only ones there. Everybody know, you know what I'm saying, what's going on because he was raised to emergency, but nobody was able to get there
except for y'all.
for us too. So I'm not an emotional person, so it wasn't no outrage. It's like almost it's more like it was unbelievable. So for the longest, it was almost as if it didn't happen. And I'm not a person that like hey, how's it going? If you need me, call me. Like I feel like I can handle it all, and I don't like talking about situations like that. So I didn't live my life any different. I was almost like as if he didn't pass. I went back doing everything I was doing beforehand, and anybody that was trying to talk to me on some like, calling me, I love you, like all that, yeah, they got cut off for a little bit because I really didn't want to have that conversation.
Okay. It's crazy that you say that too, because they say death comes in threes, and at least for me, how I look at death or transition is like it's not only for that person, but it's also the people around. Because I also know too, you know, my family and we all went on our own personal like grieving journeys and transforming, shedding things. So it's very interesting that all three of y'all were there
Yeah.
when that happened. Very significant. What was the actual date?
Honestly, I don't even know.
Can't remember. Because that would even be even deeper. Certain days have a certain auspiciousness to it.
You know what's the crazy thing? The crazy thing about that is that, so like, I have the, what's them get downs when people pass away?
The obituary?
Obituaries. I have both of my grandfathers. I have both of my grandmothers' obituary. I got my grandfather on my mom's side. But my dad and my grandfathers, I can't get them two to save my life. You know what I'm saying? Because I have them all hanging up. But for some reason, like everybody I call or try to reach out, oh, I think I got it. Them is the only two I don't have, and I can't really understand why. You know what I mean?
Have you ever tried looking like on the internet?
Nah, I was trying to get the actuals. You know what I'm saying, from people that was there. Cause
but I'm saying though, it's just an idea, but like you could get one, like, cause if like for instance, I can go look and see online like when my mom transitioned.
Yeah.
But you could like almost print that off too, like that page.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
The front.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Cause that's all I really got hanging up. Like I said, I got they like in the frame and everything. And like normally when I'm doing business and stuff, I can look up and see. You know what I'm saying? Like I got one of my favorite aunts up there, my grandmother, my grandfather, but then my wife's grandmother. You know what I'm saying? But my dad and my that I'm named after, I can't get them to. Like I said, I've reached out to people who I think should have it. And everybody said I think I might, and it's wild because I keep everything. So I don't understand how I was able to mishandle them two out of everything.
What would you tell your younger self knowing what you know now?
Don't miss out on no opportunities. I've always felt like I was blessed, but then, most people say like I would never turn down a blessing, but I think I feel like I've turned down a lot of blessings. Like even what I said during the time frame with my dad, he probably had a lot of things he wanted to tell me, and I didn't even give him the opportunity to do it. So I missed out on a lot.
What is God to you?
Energy, a positive energy. I don't look at it as in heaven or how most people look at it. I look at it as energy. So a lot of times if I pray, I could pray with a Muslim, I could pray with a Christian, I can pray wherever with whoever's God, because for me it's the energy that I'm pulling. A lot of times before I drive, before I do things, I have certain things that I say every time, and I feel protected from that energy. So I look at God as an energy, and they say energy never dies, and they also say God always was and always will be. So, hey, to me it's the same thing.
So you would say you're more of a spiritual person, and like you don't really have a religion, but like you have.
But I could say I have a religion because, like I said, I can go in to like a church and there's things that resonate with me. At one point I wouldn't, because I was more or less on the lines like, oh, if they say in Jesus' name one more time. But I look at it differently now. Like I said, if God's energy and there's somebody that's giving me something that's resonating with me, I'll accept it, even with the in Jesus' name, because it's the energy that I'm looking for. You know what I mean? Like that's why you go to a lot of like Christian churches, they get to playing that quote unquote Holy Ghost music. You feel that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's
Like,
spiritual.
yeah. So I wouldn't say necessarily spiritual or anything against any religion. Like I'm open to religion as long as I resonate what they're talking about.
I think you speaking to intention too, because it's, for instance, like Whitney Houston, right? If you ever listen to any of her gospel songs, you can feel like that spirit through that, right?
Mhm.
But you know, most people would term her a secular singer because she's some more like, you know, pop, soul, R&B stuff, right?
Yeah.
But I think again, you speaking to the intention behind things, and like, you know, just because somebody may not have a certain domination, or if I said that correctly, or
Denomination.
yeah, denomination, there we go, creed, that doesn't make them any less spiritual than the next person, or, you know.
Plus, you can feel it.
Yeah. Like you said, it is an energy. You feel who you around, who feels good to you, who feels like home,
Yeah.
who make you feel safe, inspired, things of that nature.
If somebody's singing, you feel like you crying, even if you don't want to cry. That's something.
Yeah. And same way with the music too, with like, you enter this, you know, like heavy drug culture and rap. When you listen to certain songs,
You might want to.
yeah, or you could just tap into another, you know, a darker side to yourself.
Yeah.
You know, so again, I think you speaking very greatly to the point of making sure you align your intentions with what you want, and you being aware of the frequencies around you. Because we all are on certain channels, so it's like, what are you tuning into?
Yeah.
So I just got 5. You know, I do my 5 words. You tell me what first comes to your mind.
Got you.
Family,
Love.
love,
Family. Love.
Yeah.
I love my family, and I do what I can to make sure my family love me
infinity.
forever.
Ain't nobody like me.
Except me.
God body.
Mind, body, soul.
Get your fruit, man.
Well, I just want to thank y'all for tuning in another episode of Renaissance for the Soul. Just want to say I love y'all. And as the quote say, you can use me, but don't misuse me.
Peace, y'all. Love y'all too. I'm Trav. Y'all be safe. Stay protected.